You started.
Welcome back in everyone to Ole Miss Rebels Live with the voice of college football. My name is Noah Dunlap,
I'm Raheem Fuller.
and another Monday, another live show. Got a lot to get to. Little bit related to Ole Miss, a little bit related to the national landscape of college football that has just gotten blown up this week with the judge's ruling coming out of Louisiana. So I know we're going to spend a ton of time on that, and who knows where we go from there.
Oh, yeah. So I know everybody knows Lane got two former guys. He got Wright got cut. Well, he signed with the Eagles undrafted, ended up getting cut, ended up going to Cleveland. Then Todd Monken said it's so crazy. Todd Monken said Lane reached out to him about Wright to see where was he in the depth chart, what did Todd think about it. Todd was honest with him. He didn't think he was going to make the active roster, but he wanted to bring him back as a practice guy. But Todd knew where it was going, so he ended up getting cut. Right now, he got back in the transfer portal, ended up going back in college, and he's at LSU with Lane now. And then Lane ended up getting one of our tackles. Forgot his name.
Xavier Harris.
Yes.
Yep.
A stud. I ended up getting him. Saints cut him. Lane hopped on that. So the money's long. So whatever money Lane is giving them is probably more than what those undrafted free agency contracts are. So to make the jump back, I think it's the crazy thing about it. I feel like once you go pro, you just go pro.
Yeah. And I think that's the weird aspect of everything with the lawsuit that came up. I don't actually blame the guys for wanting to come back. In the sense, if I'm just going to get cut from an NFL roster, okay, why not come back to college for another year? If it's there, make a little bit of cash, hang out on a college town.
Yeah, then you get another shot. You get another shot at the pros. You know what to expect at pro day and stuff like that. Now Lane is obviously is going to give those guys scholarship. Is where do you take those scholarship from? Do you take it out of this recruiting class that he have? Did he dismiss a couple guys off the team?
Well, I think that was the funny thing is, so it broke. I think it was Wednesday maybe that the ruling came out, and immediately I saw a couple of Ole Miss guys were like, okay, well now we're looking at Xavier Harris. You're looking at Wyatt Williams out in the secondary, and you've got Daquan Wright at tight end, and it became this conversation of where do they fit in, and the problem is they don't fit in
at all.
Pete did a good enough job to actually fill these gaps because you thought these guys were gone. So all of a sudden, if I try to bring these guys in, okay, number one, like we said, I got to find the money. Number two, I got to find a roster spot. And that doesn't include the fact that for some of these guys, you're coming into a new system that you would have to learn a week before the season starts. When are y'all actually going to be ready? So when it comes down to,
I think it's the same thing you said. I think anybody that gets cut, because this week is the last week of preseason, so each team got to bump down their roster to 53 active man rosters and stuff like that. So whoever gets cut and do have eligibility, I feel like they'll be in shape to play right away. Now the system, the terminology is all gonna be different. It's gonna be dummied down because in college not everybody runs a pro system. Not everybody uses those type of verbiage. So I think that's like the biggest thing. What surprised me though was Lane ended up taking Wright because Lane has a stud tight end already. So that means to tell me that tight end might bump out to like slot receiver, a little bit of H, a little bit of X probably in the boundary. So to have two stud tight ends on your roster, it's never a Lane Kiffin thing. He always has a stud tight end, but to have two, that means to tell me he's going to move 14 around a lot. Us not getting those guys back once they decided it was coming back to college is the money and the system. If Lane was still at Ole Miss, those guys would be at Ole Miss. But they went back to a system where they know they could be ready, in a week and a half. They got a week and a half to prepare for ball. So
yeah,
I would have done the same thing. It's just unfortunate for a lot of kids, especially the high school kids. They're seeing this going on now. They're like, oh man, I don't stand a chance. And it's rough because what if I'm a guy that I end up leaving as a junior and I did 2 years in NFL, I end up getting cut. I can come back and get 2 years of eligibility. So it's like, it's just crazy. I like the rule that they first came out with. You got 5 to play 5. Once you're gone, you're gone.
I like the 5 for 5. I think the 5 for 5 is totally fine. Like I said, with these guys, it's just such a weird dynamic and a weird phenomenon of, okay, a few of you literally played in preseason games 2 days before, and now I'm back in the transfer portal trying to play college football.
It's crazy.
What are we doing?
It's so crazy. It's just, you know how I feel about this topic. So it's like, it sucks, and there's no words you could use to put it in any type of sentence or paragraph or any phrase. It just, at the end of the day, a guy like Lane is going to take advantage of rules like this.
Yeah.
So LSU got a lot better in literally a 4-hour span.
Yeah.
Like, it's no joke. And just for us, I don't see Pete capitalizing on that. I thought Pete would have took a chance at a couple of the receivers that did come back just to boost our room up. But like you said, that system is a brand new system. These guys probably never played in those type of systems. So most of these guys are coming back from the NFL to college. I think they're trying to set it up to where they're trying to go to where they're already set up for success.
And I think the other aspect is we discussed kind of like the system itself, but also the conditioning involved with. There's a big difference between being practice ready and being game ready. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I heard one report, I don't know, I haven't been able to verify this yet, that said part of the issue with Xavier Harris at Saints camp was that he came in heavy. And he was already big at Ole Miss. He was already a bowling ball at Ole Miss in the first place. So if you tell me he put on another 25, 30 pounds and you just came in looking out of shape, a little heavy, okay, that plays an aspect of it, because with him, the question is now, how long does it take him to actually get ready to go in the game?
And knowing Lane, he don't have to be in shape. Lane's going to use him on third downs, run plays, stuff like that, obvious run calls. And I think 60% of them will be in shape because in the preseason, the rooks play, the backups play, so they play most of the game. I watched a couple of preseason games the last week, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen any starters. I think the Bills are the only ones that really play their starters. The Bengals played Joe Burrow the first week, and then they slowed it down.
I know the Giants played Cam Ward a couple times.
Horrible.
A little bit, but
it was so horrible. And then I seen Dart got in. He played a couple drives, and he got hurt. That's another thing.
I don't know what the running back was doing, man.
I think that's why they bought in Najee Harris. Like, it's just one of them things. So I feel like those guys are being game shape. Not a thing. It's translating your mind from being a pro, because in the pro you get a lot of freedom. Like, what's his name though? First overall pick from the Raiders. He talked about it. Mendoza.
Yeah, Mendoza.
He said he said basically in college you have a schedule. So on game day you wake up, you go to eat your meals, you go back upstairs. When you come back downstairs, the team bus is waiting on you. You say, I drive myself to the stadium. So I think that's like the biggest thing for a lot of those guys. But we'll still probably be happy about it. I don't have to spend no gas. I don't have to buy no food. It's all there. Now, getting these guys back enrolled in class and stuff like that is like the biggest thing. But I just don't see – let's see what NCAA let this play out. I don't see it going far because it'd be so crazy somebody get cuts in the middle of the season and comes back to college football.
Well, I think that's that's another aspect to it that no one's really talked about. Tom Mars, the attorney that covered Chambliss in his hearing, his lawsuit, everything else, he came out when all of this happened, and he mentioned the fact that when it comes down to the transfer portal, technically speaking, you're supposed to have to be enrolled in a school to enter the portal to actually be able to put your paperwork in
Correct.
Daquan, Xavier, none of those guys are enrolled in school. So how did you end up basically putting your name in the portal, being able to transfer? It's just a completely insanely broken system.
And I think what's going to happen if it stays this way, the SEC is going to come out of the NCAA and start their own thing. I can see that.
And now that's another one. When you look at Greg Sankey with the SEC trying to put in that restriction that says you can't go from SEC school to SEC
school. Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that sounds great on paper, but as we've seen when it comes to these lawsuits, as it comes to all of these injunctions and everything else, the courts just don't care.
Yeah, so the court's always going to rule in the athlete's favor.
Exactly.
If it's something positive.
Yep. All Xavier has to do, all Daquan has to do is say, basically, no, we don't like that rule. We want to go to LSU. You find a random judge in Louisiana. Boom, you put a restraining order on it, you put an injunction. Yep. And then it's like, okay, well, y'all are good to go. So the entire system is just broken. For Xavier, I think it's so weird. I saw today is when he finally announced that he's going to LSU, assuming all of this gets held up.
But they knew when Lane made those calls, they knew they were going back to college. Like,
well, that's the with Daquan, I wasn't surprised. With Xavier, I was surprised because Xavier was one of the most outspoken guys when the whole Lane LSU thing popped up in the first place. So now you're outspoken about not really liking how we did it, not liking this, not liking that. And then a couple months later, oh, we find a way to get an extra year. And it's like, boom, I'm just going to follow the guy anyway. It's like, come on now, man. What are we doing? So
I don't know. I've seen a couple guys, some of the big name guys talk about it today. It makes college football looks weird. And you got the NFL, you got college football. A lot of people watch college football over the NFL because the rules and the stuff that protects the sports and the athlete. I feel like now college football is on that playing field. NFL is they think about dollars instead of the game. And it's going to get dangerous. I think it's going to get pretty dangerous because now you got these guys that's going to be coming out, in this year draft, the 2026 draft? 2027 draft. And some of these guys are juniors. So if stuff don't work out right in the pros, they're going to come back and be like, hey, last year you let this guy come back, and why can I not come back? So I think like what Nick Saban said, we're going to go back to the old school way. We could pay these guys. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, we could pay these guys, but put a cap on how we pay these guys. Put a cap on the transfer rules, and put a cap on the years they're allowed to play. Let's take some of the issues. Let's take some of these blue shirts out, the gray shirts. I feel like those need to go. If you're not eligible coming out of high school, you need to go to JUCO. That's point blank. Like easy. You don't need to use a blue shirt or a gray shirt for that. That's a lot of people getting away. So if you're not eligible to coming out of high school, go junior college. Use one of your years. But I feel like those three rules go back in place how it was back then. A lot of these guys at Alabama back in the day that's in the pros, they played 1 year, but they sat on the bench for 2 years and was ready when their number was called. I feel like that's how it should be. Like, they're making football so soft nowadays. It's like, it's so sad because now you're teaching these kids, when things don't go your way, just tuck your tail and transfer. Like, everybody asked me when I transferred, I said I gave it a shot. Like, I was there 4 years. Like, and I showed up day in and day out, even days when I didn't like it. But I was like,
what you got to do?
A better opportunity presents itself. And like, at the time in FBS, I was one of the best corners. But went to the FCS and I was no more corner. I'm like, who's not going to take that opportunity? I'm like, but at the end of the day, you just got to give it a shot. If you get there and you're just not the guy your freshman year, okay, red shirt, take that year, develop, put on weight. Then come back next year, give it a try. If it don't work, by year 3, you're going to know if you can play here or not. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think it's so weird because it's like kind of what you mentioned. The fact is that number one, college football is no longer college football. These days, y'all aren't actually student athletes anymore.
No, you're an athlete.
You're just
a pro athlete.
Yeah, and that is what it is. The student aspect of it basically doesn't exist anymore. We can run and say, "Oh, well, technically they go to class."
No, they don't.
Yeah, it's like, but like you have that aspect of it. Number one, like I said, I'm actually okay with the idea of these guys being paid. No issue with that. I think that's fine. That's
or this is another thing. I mentioned this the other day. I was talking to my high school coach. He was like, if you're gonna pay these guys, for example, Jeremiah Smith is bringing in almost $6 million a year, something like that. Not hating him, but pay these guys like NFL incentives. You get a certain portion of your contract. The rest is incentives. You got to earn it.
Yeah, it's just.
I feel like that's the biggest thing.
That aspect of it, like I said, I'm okay with y'all being paid a little bit. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Y'all are bringing in money for the school. That's great. I'm okay with the 5 for 5. 5 for 5, completely fine. Everything's cool. Like you said, we can cut out a ton of the exceptions at that point, because if we're going to give you 5 years anyway to play 5 years, we don't really need those exceptions. Like you said,
only thing I think that should stay is your red shirt, because some guys are just not ready. Mm-hmm. And because you got guys coming from 1A football where they look like All-Americans, and then they get there and like everybody's an All-American. Now you got to really play some ball. So you got some guys that need to get the extra year, and then 2, injuries happen. We play a violent sport, so you get those. I feel like those are the only 2 rules that I would keep: is the gray shirt. I mean, not the gray shirt, the red shirt, and the medical red shirt. Those are the only 2 things. The gray shirt and the blue shirt could go by this way.
Yeah, they can go. Because the other aspect is the fact that we now have guys who are 24, 25 years old. These are legit full-grown adults.
Yes.
Coming back playing against 18-year-olds. And I know when you mention this, there are a lot of people out there, they want to say, oh, well, in the NFL, you got 31-year-olds playing against 23-year-olds. The answer is, yeah, but those are both full-grown adults. When you have a 24 or 25-year-old playing against an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, yeah, he may be an adult, but he's a brand new adult.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people in college. You don't see in college football, you don't see one and dones because the sport is so violent.
Yes.
Like I seen Caleb Downs, he was talking about it. I was watching his little podcast he did with Ryan Clark and Shay Crowder, all them. Mm-hmm. And they asked him what's the difference. He was like, skill for skill is no different because he played at the highest level. He's gonna see it all. But he said the trenches in the NFL is a whole different ball game. He said it's grown man on grown man.
Yeah.
So imagine if you got a kid that's one and done, that's 18 years old, one and done, and go to the pro. They're gonna fold him.
Yeah. And I think that's the funny thing is, like, you look at the NBA, for instance, back when they actually let you go straight from high school to the NBA. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference. You could see the difference when you look at a Kobe, when you look at LeBron,
Kevin Garnett,
compared to where he is now. But the problem is basketball is nowhere close to as violent a sport, as physical a sport. So it's easier to make that jump. When I look at Ryan Williams at Alabama, when he was 17 as a freshman, yeah, he made plays. But if I put him into a 17-game NFL schedule,
it's gonna die.
He's getting folded. Like, there's no.
You got guys like Mika Fitzpatrick, Derwin James. You got guys back there that's really hunting. Kyle Hamilton for the Ravens, like Buda Baker. Like, you got some DBs that's really gonna make a statement on this kid. Like, basketball is a whole different sport because at the end of the day, you got LeBron coming in at 18, Kobe coming in at 18, Kevin Garnett, those guys. You could help them because, you only play a certain amount of minutes. Like, when you come into the pros and you're round 1 to 3, They're expecting you to play right now. Yeah. They didn't just waste the draft pick on you for no reason. So we'll see how it works out. It's just one of those. I think we're just in a time where now everything's so money hungry based on who's the president. So I just feel like everybody's trying to get the dollars while he's still in the president's seat, and that's like one of the biggest things we're gonna go. Sports is now. I remember back then you couldn't even gamble on sports.
Mm-hmm.
We could literally sit on our phone and gamble on anything. Like last night, my brother sent in the group chat. He's gambling on overseas basketball at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, bro. I'm like, this is crazy.
And it's so funny because like you're in Tennessee, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's legal there. Now in Mississippi, technically, I can't hop on a sports book and gamble.
Can't?
No, I can't. Like FanDuel, DraftKings, all of those. I got to cross the state line.
Wow.
For me, it's not terrible because it's 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people, it's harder. Now, I can do one thing that me and my friend talked about is like Robinhood, Kalshi, all of the prediction markets.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually do that. So I've been doing that a little bit more, I'll be honest. And every day I can hop in, put a bet down on a preseason game at WNBA, baseball, whatever it is that I want to. And
so you cannot use like Hard Rock, FanDuel, DraftKings, MMG. You can't use none of those.
Nope.
That is crazy.
MGM, I can use if I drive down to Tunica.
Yeah,
and
casino.
Actually at the casino. But in terms of like a sports book on my phone, nope, can't do it.
See, growing up back then, you used to have something. Yeah, you from the South. They used to have bookies.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go to the bookie, place a bet. That's how it used to be. But nowadays, you literally, I don't think I'm surprised at with sports betting when it comes to college football right now is you cannot bet on players' individual stats.
Yeah,
like the player props. That's the only thing I'm surprised. Now I know in some states like Maryland, you could do that.
Yes,
like you can bet on the players' props and stuff in college, but it's like it's getting out of hand. And everybody wants a piece of this money. Like I don't blame them. If somebody call me right now and tell me I have eligibility left, I'm going back. I'm gonna get some of that
money. It was so funny. I was on Twitter a couple of days ago, and dude was talking about the Little League World Series and the fact that he was on one of the prediction market apps, and you could actually put money down on the Little League World Series on like a 12-year-old kid or something. And I was like, whoa, hold on, guys.
That's crazy. I like one of my daughters, they asked me yesterday that I don't want to play sports. She's 9. She want to play sports. I'm like, okay. What do you want to play? So she's like, oh, I want to run track and I want to play soccer. So I said, okay, do you know you're playing? So I, have a talk where like you playing two of the most demanding sports. So she's like, what do you mean? I said, soccer, you run 90 minutes. Like, it's a 90-minute game plus extra time. Track, no matter what you're doing, unless you're doing shot put or the jumps or that's the only time you want to run. So she's like, yeah, because somebody in my class is telling me we could gamble on sports. So I want to play sports so people can gamble on me. I looked at her. I'm like, bro, you're in the 4th grade. And I'm like, for you to know this is crazy. And she's like, yeah, you like when you come to the game, all you and your teammates and all your employees could just come and bet money on me and win a lot of money. So I'm like, it's so crazy that a 9-year-old knows this. So imagine like what these people in higher positions are doing.
Well, that's the funny part is like when you look at college athletics, everyone wants to say, okay, well, you can't gamble on football, you can't do this. You look at the situation with
the college basketball guys
and all the basketball guys. You look at Cincinnati, Texas Tech with Sorsby and everything else, and it's like, okay, we tell these guys you can't gamble, but at the same time, every single commercial break,
it's about gambling,
is going to feature some type of gambling app and make it. It's just like, come on now. But
it's so crazy. I'm literally. I just went on FanDuel. I'm about to see something.
Okay.
Let's see. NCAA. We're gonna go FCS. FCS plays first. They already have all the games up.
Okay.
Like literally. And you telling me a kid that's 19, 20 years old, making all this money, is not gonna put one of these in their friend's name? Like that's like me.
Yeah.
If this was going on when I was playing, I promise I probably would have been ineligible because I'd have called my homeboys, and I'd be like, look, this is who we playing this week. And I know for a fact we can't lose. So you X, Y, and that's what I think these basketball guys was doing. It was like, look, some of them was really selling the game without, and it was just so obvious. And I think that's why they started paying that. And that's another thing. That's why I'm really not mad about them paying, because a lot of these kids is like, okay, give me this scholarship. You want to give me X amount of dollars per month that really only lasts after two. It's only gonna last for 2 weeks. I'm gonna make some more dollars. I can't work. I can't get an internship. So it's like you put all these rules and stipulations in. That's the only way.
That's kind of crazy though. Is the number of guys out there that we can almost guarantee are doing exactly that. Because the only way you get caught is, number one, if it's in your name.
Yep.
Or if you are doing just crazy amounts of money. If you drop a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's under someone else's name, are you ever actually going to get caught?
It's not coming from your cellular device.
Exactly. And now, like we said, back in the day, you actually had bookies. Everything was on paper.
And then you got the boosters. You got, you know what I'm saying? Like back then when these guys are coming up in college, you had boosters. You had boosters giving people money under the table, buying groceries, paying on this, taking care of moms, taking care of dad, whatever they need to take care of. I feel like if Noah comes to University of Texas as a freshman with $1.5 million just sitting in his bank account, you're not hungry. You're at this point, it's forget ball, forget school. I have $1.5 million. I have $5.1 million sitting in my bank account right now, just for 1 year. Next year, I go back to the table and renegotiate this or get something else. Then you got X amount of sponsorships and endorsement deals. So you're gonna have some food endorsements. You're gonna have some drinks endorsement. How can I be focused when I know this is guaranteed? No matter what I do, this is guaranteed. I can go out there and shit the whole season, and this money would not change, or et cetera, et cetera. Or you got these guys signing for 3 years. They're getting like $2.5 million. That's a lot of money over a 3-year span. And that's not even telling what these boosters are doing on the table. Like, trust me, Lane ain't got a lot of money left. Them boosters in Louisiana, they for sure gave a call like, look, whatever you need, we're gonna do it. If he needs a house, he needs a car, his parents to get taken care of, he can walk on and we'll take care of school. I know that's what they're doing.
And I mean, that's the thing, like being an Ole Miss guy, I look back to the Hugh Freeze days with a few of those guys, and the fact that Ole Miss ends up getting in trouble, gets a bowl ban for essentially paying dudes' moms electric bill.
And when a lot of these guys, they're really out here fighting to come to college to make a better living for us at home. Yes. I have teammates that were so happy that we're getting almost $800 something a month. Like it's a life changing. Like don't get me wrong, I grew up in a single parent. We struggled, but I never struggled to the point how some of my teammates was. Like no lights, what they was gonna eat. Like no matter what, my mom always make sure that part was taken care of. Like if it's her last, it's her last. But I was one of those guys like I know my mom is spending $500 for the season. We about to make sure this $500 is worth every piece of lick she put in it. Because it's like, but nowadays they don't do that. Like, it sucks. Like even in Liberty, it sucks.
You look at the guy from, like I said, that was Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss. Dude gets in trouble for an electric bill. You look at the guy from Tennessee this year who suspended 2 games, I think it is, for a plane ticket. Like $400 on a plane ticket. Meanwhile, we got guys out here making $5 million. And it's like there aren't any rules.
It's none. So as I'm saying, why are you trying to? If you don't have no rules in place, why are you trying to suspend these kids? Do this, do that, and there's no rules in place. And that's just mind-boggling to me. It's like you knew you was coming to this, and you didn't put no rule in place. That's why I tell everybody all the time. That's why Nick Saban stopped coaching.
Yeah,
it was no structure. He couldn't coach his teams. He wouldn't want to coach because if you coach a kid too hard, a kid is gonna. I'm getting transported. I'm just gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, or a guy in a position battle and he feel like he's not gonna win his position battle. He's gonna bail. Yeah, like Alabama was always good. Alabama know. Yeah, I have Julio Jones right now, but I got Jared Judy on the bench. I got Calvin Ridley on the bench. I got Waddle, Smith, all these guys on the bench is waiting opportunity. It's not like that no more. Like we talked about the turnover rates on rosters last week. Like all of what Southern Miss is at Memphis.
It's at Memphis.
Like that roster turnover is crazy.
North Texas. The fact that North Texas, basically their entire roster is at Oklahoma State now. Same thing with South Florida to Auburn.
Yes, I'm saying. So, like, you look, it's at the end of the day, all these ADs and support staff voting on these rules. Mm-hmm. Instead of just running away from the situation because you're so money hungry, really sit down and think about it. Like, okay, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, this is gonna happen to my roster. Now the boosters gonna be looking at me and stuff like that. It's tough. Like when Deion left Jackson State, Colorado. Granted, he didn't take everybody, but the names that he needed to take was gone.
Yeah, he took, no question.
You saying? So go ahead.
That's like, I know a lot of people want to bash Lane for taking Daquan, for taking Xavier, and all of that. And I get that. That's fair to a degree. I think as a coach, you should probably have some type of basically moral compass that says maybe this isn't the right way. But like we said, we've completely changed what college football is. And the problem is college football is solely about money and it's about wins. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how you get there. Doesn't matter anything along the way to get there.
That's my question.
What it is.
The guy at Ole Miss, how many games? At Southern Miss, how many games did he win last year?
5, maybe 7.
He got a job at Memphis.
Yep.
Back then, you not getting no job with 5 wins.
Yeah. 7-6.
Horrible. You're playing Power 4 football. You're part of Power 4. And you mean to tell me even the Heisman they went 7-6? But that just goes to show the landscape of college football. And throughout this season, we're gonna see a lot more BS come up. Like, we're gonna see a lot more stuff. A lot of people are gonna say, and I'm telling you now, Lane come to Oxford and beat us. They're gonna say Lane beat us with an Ole Miss team, which is frankly true.
Which I think it's funny. Dude made the comment and said, the fact that Lane had only taken 4 guys from the Ole Miss roster. And now
what is he looking at?
And now it's 5, 6, whatever it is. And it's one of those. Now look, Jaden Daniels' mom, don't sue me because I said 5. Okay. But no, like when you look at it, it's literally he's taken 6 if these 2 guys are actually eligible and manage to play. But to his credit,
I don't think they're gonna pass that rule and don't let them play. I think because Naquan Wright forced himself to get cut. He told Todd Monken to cut him.
Yeah.
So it's a point where I feel like I'm not walking up to no head coach telling you to cut me and I'm in the National Football League if I know I'm not going to go back and make triple or twice the money that I'm making.
And I think it's when you look at that situation, when you look at the Todd Monken, Lane Kiffin situation, the fact that Todd came out and said, yes, Lane basically came up to him a couple weeks ago asking him about it. And then Lane came out today and said that it never happened.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it. It's like, what you mean didn't it happen?
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just a Lane tactic. Like, Lane always find a way around these rules, and it's like
Lane is gonna do what Lane has to do, okay? And I'll be the first one to tell everybody out here, yes, we looked past a lot of it when he was in Oxford because he was winning football games. But now that he's not,
it sucks when we're on the opposite side of it. Yeah.
We are more than willing to point out everything that went down in Oxford under Lane Kiffin that probably skated around ethical means, whatever the case is.
It just, I don't know. This topic, I think it's just going to be a topic we're going to talk about for a little minute. This topic is going to go down in college football history because, like, until you get a cap on what you want to allow and what you don't want to allow, these are going to be the conversations week in and week out. Like, is this guy coming back from the pros? Is this guy coming back? And then, like, I think that mess with the people I remember, if me and you on a team all summer, we've been with this team. We're going to go back past summer. We've been with this team all winter.
Yep.
We get 2-3 weeks off in May. Then we come back. We're with each other all summer. And you got to know, in the summer, ain't nobody up there but you and your teammates.
Yep. That's it.
So I'm bonding with these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm bonding with these guys. I get to fall camp, I'm bonding with these guys because that's another month I got to bond. We hitting each other. You're going to be building that camaraderie, that brotherhood. And in the back of my head, my coaches went out and got somebody from the pros in my position group. That's gonna I don't know. My confidence want to go. I'm like, okay, bet. You just feel like we ain't good enough. I'm gonna have to show you. But a lot of those guys are gonna be on some stuff like, dang, like you don't believe in us, or like this guy's gonna play. Like he wasn't with us all year, but he didn't just come back from the pros not to play. Well, then that would be a whole nother topic.
That's the thing with Daquan, though, is like we said, LSU has the best tight end in the SEC already on the roster. So you bring in Daquan, what are we doing now? Because he's not going to want to sit on the bench, and he shouldn't. Daquan, like you said, I didn't leave the NFL to come to Baton Rouge to sit on the bench. So once we decide that Daquan is in, like we said, good enough game shape, you learn the new terminology of the system.
I say about a week and a half, and he'd be ready to play. He'll play the Louisville game. He won't be much of an impact, but then Lane being Lane, he's gonna figure out a way to have both of those guys on the field at the same time. But then again, he has a receiving room where you have to feed those divas the ball because those guys, they're gonna be like, hold on. The ball just can't be going to the tight ends all day. We need some love. It just caused a lot of chaos and chaotic. I feel like if they was gonna bring this rule, it should have been on some stuff like, okay, you entered the draft, you got your draft grade. Okay, I want to back out. That's the time it should have been because now we're in winter camp. These guys should come at the winter camp and still build that camaraderie with the team that's there. But now we went to winter camp. We don't went through summer phase. We don't went through camp phase. We're in game week prep now. And it's like, you're telling me this guy's going to come in here and take my job.
Yeah, immediately just hop in. And it's
and Lane being Lane, I don't know what Lane is telling these kids. Like, I don't know if Lane is telling them, like, I'm just bringing him for – you watched Last Chance U?
Yeah.
This remind me of Coach Brown from Independence.
When
Coach Brown brought back the quarterback kid, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know, the team might like it, the team might not. And Lane, knowing Lane did not speak to his team. Lane did that, and Lane was like, okay, that's what we got. You guys need to coach it, and the team need to figure it out. He won't be the only coach to be on it. I seen the coach from Ohio State said he's just gonna peep around and see. No, you're not. If you see something that you like, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. It is what it is. Like I said, I think that's the other side of this is when we talk about somebody like Lane Kiffin and the success that he has recruiting, and it's undeniable, the dude has tremendous success. My question to the 17-year-old that he's recruiting, the 16-year-old that he's recruiting, whatever it is, what is this man telling you that makes you want to follow him? Because when you look at his entire life, and that goes back to him being the OC at USC, the head coach in Tennessee, USC, Florida Atlantic, Alabama, Ole Miss. You look at the entire trajectory of his life. The dude has never been honest about just about anything.
No, he's just in the moment guy. Like, I'm here right now.
What you want to hear, and it's up to you to decide
if you're coming or not,
whether or not you buy into it. And I know for me, and I said this when he was at Ole Miss. Look, I loved the guy when he was at Ole Miss. However, I was never confused by the idea of whatever Lane is saying. Don't buy into that.
Like I said it. I told my uncles. My uncles, they love college ball. He's like, when he left, I told my uncle, I said, when Lane first got, I said, Lane has the expiration date in his head.
Yeah,
you might not know it, but Lane knows it. And if Lane sees something that's looks better than what he's at, he's gonna take it. Mm-hmm. And my uncles was like, you know, old heads, they talk ball. I'm like, listen, that might work back in the day, but LSU in Florida is gonna offer him whatever it takes. They know Lane is a materialistic guy. And it just happened that Ole Miss matched the number what he's gonna get paid a year. They're just gonna match the recruiting numbers. I'm like, NIL is a thing now. Like, it ain't just about the coach. Like, you gotta make sure you have some money to spend. I said, LSU gonna make sure you got Tyron, you got Patrick Peterson, Jared Burrow, Jamar Chase. You got all these guys. You got Leonard Fournette, Jarvis Landry. I mean, you don't think these guys are gonna make sure he has some money to spend for people to come in the boot and play in Death Valley? Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's not it. I'm like, if Ole Miss had a little bit more dollars in NIL room, we probably would have stayed, but I've been like, this would have been our last year with him.
Well, that's the I think it was Josh Pate put the poll up on his Twitter account of by 2031. So what, 4 seasons, I guess? Mm-hmm. Do you think Lane has won a title at LSU or he's no longer the head coach at LSU? And I think it ended up being close to 70% of people said he's no longer at LSU.
Yeah.
And I think
if you don't win this year or next year, he's gone. Because I just see him. He's gonna be like, okay, I done tried it. It ain't worked. Where else could I go and try to make this work? Like, I think Ole Miss is his longest coaching job.
Yeah.
Like, head coach job. So that explains a lot
he was
about
here for what, 6 years, I guess?
Yeah. Got better every year.
Yeah. And that's the other aspect of it is there are some guys, and this isn't solely a knock at Lane Kiffin, there are just some guys who don't have the mentality to win a national title.
Mm-hmm.
And that just is what it is. When you look at Lane, I don't know that Lane has the mentality to actually win a national title. He can get you there. He can get you close, but he's a guy who we saw it in 2024, the situation with the Kentucky week, the Florida loss, everything else. Lane always has so many things going on
at once.
There's going to be so many distractions that when it comes down to a massive football game, when it comes down to a bigger football game, and you look at a situation like the college football playoff where I've got to win 3 or 4 straight games against top 10 teams, something's going to come up.
Okay, so this is my thing. Do you think last year they was forcing him to make a decision? Like, we can't go into the playoffs knowing that if he's going to be the head coach or not. Do you think they're to let him be? You think we would have won it last year?
No.
You think we would have made it to national championship?
I don't know that Ole Miss would have beat Georgia with Lane. Just because of exactly that. The nonstop distractions out throughout the media that would have popped up, where I'll be the first one to say I think Lane is a better head coach purely probably than Pete Golding is. However, if there's one thing that you get less of with Pete Golding,
it's the drama.
It's the drama, it's the outside distractions, everything else that comes with it. And throughout the regular season, a lot of times you can kind of manage that just a little bit. As the stakes get higher, though, that noise becomes louder. The moment becomes a little bigger.
I had us win. I had us losing to Indiana last year if he stayed. If he stayed, I just seen us close game versus Georgia because Kirby always find a way to slow Lane down. They never fail. The Miami game, I felt like would have been a close game too, but would have got stops when we needed to because Pete wasn't focused on being a head coach.
I think it's one where I think you would have beat Tulane regardless. The talent's just too
it's a big difference. Yeah.
Georgia, I think it would have looked a lot like the regular season game. Could have gone either way. Maybe Ole Miss wins. Maybe Ole Miss loses. Miami, same way. Maybe you sneak out with a win. Maybe you come up short.
I just didn't see us beat Indiana. Indiana was just the best team last year.
They were just a machine.
They had everything. They had everything we need. And I just felt like Lane would have met his maker. Like Cinetti would have made sure Lane understood like this levels to this coaching stuff. And I feel like we could have beat Mario Cristobal for sure. And Pete came close. We just had some little errors towards the end.
That's the other side with Lane that you understand when it comes to Lane Kiffin. There's going to be good and there's going to be bad. And as far as it goes, you just have to accept the bad that comes with the good. I go back to the I think it was the Oklahoma game last year. Ole Miss decides to go for it on like 4th and 2 or something from your own 29-yard line.
That was an ego thing. You know that was an ego thing. His ego got the best of him.
Yeah. And I was sitting there just watching the TV and I was like, this can't be real. I was like, there's no way this guy just sent the offense out. You're going to waste a time out here. You're going to burn it. I'm just going to be pissed off and everything. And then you snap the ball. You end up not getting it. And I'm like, what did you just do? And it's those kinds of situations when it comes to Kiffin that just make me question whether he's ever going to actually be able to get over that final hurdle.
Especially as a head coach, because as an OC, we know when he's cooking, he's cooking.
Oh, yeah. If he's the OC and you solely just say, hey, you deal with those 11 guys, you call the plays, you create the scheme, your offense is going to be ridiculous. But when you start allowing Lane to become Lane
and run a team,
some of the in-game decisions, both on offense, defense, special teams, 4th down. Oh, it's 4th and 7, and I still want to go for it from my own.
It's just lame. And I feel like LSU has passionate fan base like us.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're ready for the stuff Lane is gonna do. Like
now, I said that immediately. In fact, LSU is happy now and everything, and that's fine. If he wins big, if he ends up winning a title, he gets you to the playoff, you're going to be happy. The roller coaster ride that is Lane Kiffin as a head coach to get there, it's not for everybody. Okay.
No. So I don't think they're going to be ready for that. And I don't think they will be ready for like you said, the in-game decision that he's going to make. Like, okay, we're down on 20. I'm going to find a way to go for this. Like, and I don't see sometimes, when they put the camera on the coaches on 4th down, and you can tell it's like his ego is getting the best of him. Like the one versus Oklahoma, you can look at it, you can tell it's like, okay, They're whooping my ass, but I have to get something to respond to. So it's like, let's go for this and slow this whooping down. I think it was like one of those things. No, I don't know. This guy, he's just crazy.
Yeah, like I said, when it comes down to like going for it on fourth down, there are times where that's okay. And I know when you talk to Lane, he's going to talk about the analytical side of it and following the book. Oh, the book says you go for it. I'm not a huge analytical guy.
Because sometimes it be wrong.
I'm more on the eye test and the way the game is going.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be times where I look at it and say, okay, it's 4th and 1.5. Like we said, I really need a spark. I really need a play. If I'm at my own 45, if I'm at midfield, of course I'm going to go. There might be a time where I'm at my own 42 and it's 4th and 3. And like you said, I'm kind of getting my ass kicked just a little bit. And I look at it and say, I need a spark. Let's take a chance, see if we can grab some momentum. Doing that from your own 29 is just a different level.
And I don't think people are ready. Like, I don't know. I'm excited that P's on our side. Let's just say that my blood pressure won't be so high during the game.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. But LSU has it cut out to where he does some stuff and you be like, what the hell, Lane?
Yeah. And that's the thing with LSU, though, is when you look at LSU, you look at Les Miles, you look at Nick Saban back in the day, you look at Brian Kelly, you look at all of these guys, those type of decisions were always far more traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 4th and 5, 4th and 6. I'm going to punt. We're going to let my defense, I have trust in the defense. We're going to let them play, handle business. With Lane, nothing about it's traditional, okay? Like I said, those in-game decisions, nothing about it is traditional anymore.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how everything pans out. I just know, like, I'm gonna talk to you offline about it. But I know that's all we really had to talk about today.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all for coming in.
For sure.
Quick Monday. If you guys have any questions, anything you guys want us to talk about, just let us know. Let us know.
Y'all know we're
check
back
out the
next
merch.
Monday.
Mm-hmm. Check out the merch.
BOCFB.com/shop. Really good stuff up there. Go to it. Check it out. Find something you like.
Yep. And we'll see y'all next Monday.
All right.